Welcome to the inaugural round of the Sports Car Championship SCC in Forza Motorsport. Now the lineup for today looks like this: Joseph Singh, Nathan Navas and Max Lando Clark all racing today, as was it Lewis Seif, Clark and the BMW of Big Magic can't make it, but we are away, and the pole sitter Joe gets into the lead and heads into turn 1 with a clear track. Meanwhile the 15 BMW hits the number 2 Cadillac and Nathan Navas into an accidental race winging move if Joe doesn't back out. Oh, he's round. Joe didn't back out, but he spun anyway, and he's in the grass, and that's a horrible start for the number 30 Jota. Incredibly unfortunate there, as the number 15 BMW essentially triggering that whole malarkey with a chain reaction hit on the back of the Cadillac. So the number 15 BMW, who in real life is driven by Kevin Magnussen, but here is driven by Max Lando Clark. There's Joe. He's only lost a bit of time, and that car looks quick, so he might be able to get back soon. But that was contact on the side, you can see on the replay, between Nathan Navas and Joe. Only minor contact, and then a massive thump on the back of the Cadillac, which launches him on the inside of Joe, and then Joe caught the curb, I think, lost the car, maybe a slight bit of contact, but that's okay. Lando was on the grass there, very lucky not to spin out. Here's Joe's gameplay cam, so we can see on his radar where everyone was. We can see how last minute, look, very last minute, he didn't even see them coming until they were on his inside. Then he's trying to keep Nathan Navas there. In doing so, he gets on the curb, the car gets unsettled, and he's hurtling, luckily avoids the wall, but he's cutting a lot of grass for the Daytona sports car course. Meanwhile, the Cadillac of Nathan Navas takes the lead and is the first leader of SCC, and it's looking to lead the first lap of SCC as a league. Heading through the number 2 Cadillac, if I'm not mistaken, it is just the base Cadillac. There's no upgrades on this car, but I think the 15 BMW and the number 30 Jota may have tunes and upgrades to help them out in this race, which they are allowed to do. But the number 15 BMW needs to keep the car on the track. He's down the access road. That's going to end in a minute. Yes, it is. And he's on the grass. What a bizarre incident this is going to be, as he goes into the wall on the high side of the banking, giving the place to the number 30 Jota, who just snuck in on the downstage left of the picture. And wow, what a peculiar incident then for Lando, who has such a reputation in open wheel sim racing, with championships in F1 23, in the F2 cars, in Green Army F2, and in other leagues like Grand Formula in the F1 cars. So very peculiar to see him make a mistake like this, but the straight line speed of the number 30 Jota is going to edge him out, and he's going to be the first one to take the lead and lead an SCC lap over the line. But the Cadillac back down the inside, aggressive move by Nathan Navas. Joe will have to back out when he's learned from his last mistake. He is not going to go for that same move again, but that Porsche is looking rapid on the straights compared to that Cadillac. That number 30 Jota with slightly different stickers to what you see on the normal Hertz Team Jota Porsche, as you might have spotted. Heading round though, flying through the kink there, the Cadillac defending to the inside of the horseshoe, as you can see. Down the inside goes Joe though, he hasn't defended enough. Oh, that's gone down some very, very late dive and nearly ends in tears. But heading round there, there's still contact as they head out of the horseshoe and into the next step, and the Cadillac still in front. The number 2 Cadillac, now he's block passing to try and keep Joe behind him and disrupt his run onto the banking, where he is inevitably quick, as we learned from the last lap. And there's Joe on the outside, he's going to get the move done on the high side, as they say in over racing, and the number 30 Jota finally takes the lead and keeps it for longer than 2 seconds. The Cadillac of Nathan Navas in the number 2 tried as long as he could. Let's have a look then at Joe's liveries. I aforementioned there's different stickers. V1 is a reference to the Vantage Racing League. The green sticker says Electra. The purple sticker says Authentic 4 as the name of this race. The Authentic 4, 16 laps of Daytona. And then instead of Hertz, as on the white patch, it says the driver's name, Joseph Singh. We're heading into the horseshoe, and straight on for the Cadillac. That's Nathan Navas. And he's gone straight on, and he won't lose too much ground to Lando, as Lando has a pit, so he's going to be far enough behind for Nathan Navas to have a little mistake and get out still in second place. But no matter what happens in this race, they will still have a podium, and he's got off again. He's understeered wide. Probably cold tyres, or maybe tyres that are overheating from a lockup. Not too sure there, but Nathan Navas with a bit of a mistake there just looked like he outbroke himself into the hairpin. Heading through here, Nathan Navas making his debut on the channel. He hasn't competed in any other leagues on this YouTube channel, but let's have a look at this mistake again. Goes into the corner, just understeers completely wide and just goes straight to the scene of the accident. Luckily, I don't think there's much damage, as the impact was very minor for that Cadillac. So the V8 and the V-Series are can roar on round the Daytona track, and yeah, that's the understeer onto the grass there. This car looks very heavy on the front end. It looks like Nathan's struggling to rotate that car, but we end that replay and we have a look again at the Green Army Formula 2 champion, the Grand Formula champion, and two-time Formula Asphalt champion, Max Lando Clark, as he flies around. He's also raced in ALR, and he's got a quiet history behind him in league racing and in Formula 1. This is, if I'm not mistaken, his debut in Forza Motorsport League racing. It's his debut in SCC. Obviously it's everyone's debut in SCC as it's just starting. And number 15 BMW livery. Here's Joseph Singh then, another person with a lot of history in league racing in Formula 1 and in Formula 2, and he's had a bit of Forza Motorsport League racing in FEC and in the Formula America series for Vantage Racing Team. But apart from that, he's not really competed in many Forza Motorsport leagues, and he's looking to make an impression here in SCC today in the inaugural race, heading around the National Horseshoe and into the International Horseshoe. Loving this camera angle. Just reminds me of the Monaco. Oh, he's wide! Wow! That's Joseph Singh, the number 30 Joseph, and he hits the wall. And is that in damage potentially? I'm not sure. He's kept on going, but Joseph Singh with a big spin. Very peculiar there. He was on the grass there on the exit of the kink, and he's on the grass again. He's done what Nathan Navas did when he rejoined the track, so maybe the tyres are getting too hot when they're making mistakes there, and there's no grip for him. There's less grip than they expect, but let's have a look again. So what does he do? Go around the kink, and he just goes wide. He goes wide. It looks like he lost the car, overcorrected, and it put him on the grass. He does have a little knock on the concrete wall, which is always scary, as there could be a lot of damage from that. But luckily, no damage for Joseph Singh in the number 30 Jota Porsche, which is the most upgraded car on the grid. Heading up the hill there. The Cadillac here, roaring around the banking here. But yeah, the authentic 416 laps of Daytona being a fairly chaotic race so far. Well, the sun's setting here on Daytona, and then when we finish Daytona, we'll be heading to the 24 laps of Le Mans happening on the in June, about a week after this happens. So this league runs on Fridays, but we're here with Lando and the BMW again. Whoa, that's going to be a big hit. That is Lando Max Clark. Huge hit into the wall, and that car is damaged. And we know we've had a lot of incidents in this race, yeah, but that is the biggest one by far in terms of impact into the wall. And in real life, the G-force the driver would have felt there would have been massive. And as the sun goes down, the chances of Lando finishing this race goes down with the sun. And the car, oh yeah, look at that, it's definitely damaged. This Porsche, this BMW even, definitely damaged. The number 15 entry looks to be out of this race, and he's parking up on the exit of the pit exit. Oh yeah, let's have a look again. This is lap 7. This is the exit we just saw on board though. Oh, he gets on the grass. He gets on the grass and he overcorrects and it shoots him off into the concrete wall separating the sports car track from the oval track. Let's have a look again. Yeah, hits the grass, spits him out, and he just goes straight in the wall there. That would be a big hit, and that's a lot of repair damage as well for his mechanics, as we're not on a replay anymore, and we're having a look at the Cadillac here of Nathan Navas, and he's gone wide here just before the Le Mans chicane. And what's happened there? He's just gone straight over the Le Mans chicane there. That will probably be a penalty, if I'm not mistaken. But he's now on the apron. Is he struggling with suspension damage, or is that just an experimental line that's gone wrong? I'm not too sure there. But he's heading into the pits there. Maybe it was tyre damage then. Who knows? But we're on board with Joe then in the number 30 Jota. As lights come on around this track in LEDs and the sunlight disappears here in Daytona. Head round here and now we get the inside camera, so we can see Joe's well, we can see what the driver of the number 30 Jota sees. As that's a big save there by the number 30 Jota. That's Joseph Singh there. I'm not sure the steering wheel is accurate to what the actual inputs are doing, especially in situations like Joe was just in, where he had to correct the car and stop it from spinning. But yeah, we're looking back at Nathan Navas, and yeah, the number 15 BMW did retire from that incident. So it is just these two, the blue nose Cadillac roaring round the Daytona circuit, and we have the number 30 Porsche 963 Jota, one of two Porsches in this league. The other one is Lewis Scythe Clark, who's in the number 5 Porsche Penske Motorsport, and round goes Joe, who's spun at turn 1, and he's looking to try and jump the Cadillac in the pits, but that's not really going to help him out here, and I think the Cadillac's not too far away now, and there is the Cadillac. So Joe's going to have to watch out here, because the Cadillac's going to be right on his tail, and he's going to have to fend him off, and he's gone wide again. I think Joe's struggling. I think there's confirmation that he pitted a lap ago, just before that spin. So the lap before this one, he pitted, but the Cadillac has got in front. The number 2 Cadillac gets in front on the exit of the horseshoe and through the kink. Incredible stuff there. So now the battle's on pretty much, isn't it? After that spin for Joe, now Joe's got to try and utilise every bit of that Porsche to try and get in front of Nathan Navas again. Nathan Navas with a great pit stop strategy to get him back into contention for this win. But the number 30 Jota, we're on the gameplay camera now, and he's Nathan Navas went high on the high side, and Nathan NK Navas went up to the high side and caught the number 30 Jota out there, and that was nearly a massive crash there from the number 30 Jota, but he just about saved it. Another scary, hairy moment for the golden car. And look, Jota wet. The number 30 Jota's on wet, so he did make a pit stop, but he made a pit stop on wet, so that would explain why he spun at turn 1 and why he was struggling with understeer rounds the last lap. So yeah, no wonder he's struggling to keep up with Nathan Navas. He pit onto wet tyres. I wonder if that's a mistake. As Forza Motorsport, you have to select on a menu to pit instead of like while you're in the pit lane. So I reckon there's been a misclick there, but either way, Joe's going to go around the outside here at the kink. This is going to be a very hairy move, and he's on the grass, and he's paid the price for what would be a very ambitious move there. And he's sliding around there. You can hear the tyres squealing on the asphalt. Having a look there, he's got out the corner there, a bit of curbing there. That's Nathan Navas standing his ground. Just because he's in the slower Cadillac doesn't mean that he's going to back down to that golden car. Nathan Navas trying to strip the golden medal and the golden trophy off this golden car, who's now going golden down the inside and taking the golden first place away from the number 2 Cadillac Racing of Nathan Navas. And here we go then, and down into the bus stop chicane though. Here comes Nathan Navas on the inside. Incredible. Through the Le Mans chicane, Nathan Navas takes that lead back as if he's taken it like a Red Bull, taking the lead from a McLaren, the real Formula 1. But on the high side, Joseph Singh back around the outside of him. But I think Joe's having to conserve because his tyres are getting too hot on these straights. He's trying to keep the temperature to an optimum window, and that's allowing the Cadillac to get back at him on the straight as Joe's having to let off and back down the inside goes to the Cadillac. This is the move they did at turn 1 a few laps ago. Joe takes the iRacing line on the outside of turn 1. He doesn't get a penalty for it from what I can see, and the Cadillac though still stays in front. Incredible racing between these two, and a big move on the inside of the Cadillac there by the Jota, but he gets his stop in time. I think that's made Nathan Navas a bit scared there, but Joe on board with the number 30 Jota. That was nearly contact again with Nathan Navas. These two are getting perilously close to each other, and they make contact, and Joe spins, and he's into the wall hard. big massive crash there for the number 30 Joseph Singh, who might have a lot of damage after that because he touched with Nathan Navas and then it got spat out into the wall. Incredible stuff. Look at that, he's crabbing round. He's crabbing here, and look at that, suspension's gone. The suspension's gone. The number 30 Jota in danger here. And he's trying to drag this car back to the pits, but look at it, it's crabbing like one of the World Rally cars. Like Kevin Hansen's Ford Focus. Incredible. It's crabbing and it's struggling to stay straight here. He's fighting that car just to keep it in a straight line. Absolute drama as we have a look at the replay of the Hertz Team Joseph Porsche of Joseph Singh, the number 30 entry, who made a bit of a fake dive there. I was more to get in Nathan Navas' mirrors and try and make him react. But then let's see what happens here. Now NK here, that was naughty. That was naughty, and he's lucky not to get a penalty from that. And then a little bit of rear contact. Look at the damage radar. Huge damage. The rear suspension completely gone, and the whole rear of the car gets torn off by Nathan Navas. Turning. Well, they both just came together. One was going to one side of the track, the other one was going to the other side of the track. And absolute drama. Here's Nathan Navas' view. Now that's what it was. That was very on the limit there. And yeah, it's just a little knock on the side there, and that completely destroys the suspension of the gold Porsche. But the blue nose Cadillac then leads, and after a bit of a treacherous incident there with severe ramifications for the number 30 gold Jota car of Joseph Singh, Nathan Navas here on lap 16 of 16, the final lap through the final braking zone and round the final banking to take the first win of SCC, the first crown in this league's chapter. And it is the number 2 Cadillac Racing of Nathan Navas who will win the Daytona 16 laps. On the authentic for Daytona 16 laps. And that crown goes to Nathan Navas. Incredible win for the number 2 Cadillac there, who, you know, he's not had the best car, but he drove it to the best of his ability. And as you can see, the number 30 Joseph did end up finishing the race after having a pit stop after that collision. But that's Lando, exact Max Clark. There's Joseph Singh in the Porsche wear, and that is the Logitech Cadillac Racing of NK Plays on the podium. The number 2 Cadillac takes the first win of the season and takes the lead in the championship by 7 points. Let's hope to see if the number 30 Jota can claw back those points in the 24 laps of Le Mans. Goodbye.